I mean, I always say there are only three things with immigration that really matter: speed, numbers, and identity. Speed, numbers, and identity. You can integrate large numbers of people relatively fast if the identity is pretty close. You can integrate a small number of people with a very different identity if it's a small number and the speed is slow. If you do fast, large numbers with a very different identity, you've not got a hope of integrating. You've just not got a hope. Why would they?
First thing is the mass immigration. Europe has been taking people in recent years far too fast, particularly to be able to integrate them into European society. We don't have a chance at this pace. This isn't about race either. This is about ideas. It's about the ideas people bring with them. Some of those ideas, as we have seen in the rise of things like Sharia courts in the UK, in the rise of extremism and intolerance, including intolerance towards women and ethnic and religious and sexual minorities, is really worrying.
I was in Poland probably last about 18 months ago, and they've had a huge influx, of course, of Ukrainians, Ukrainian women primarily, since the beginning of the war. Now, I can't remember how many it is. It's more than 1 million, maybe 2 million, I think. That's a lot of people for a relatively small relatively small by American standards, country like Poland to deal with. How is it not led to, suicide bombings, outbreaks of rapes, and so on and so forth? Because Ukraine to Poland is not that big of a leap in cultural terms. If, for instance, people flee a specific war zone, for instance, Somalia, speak to anyone who's fled Somalia in recent years. They have seen things that you can't imagine. Now, it's very likely that these people also are going to have a different attitude toward violence as a result. And we have seen this in gangs in London in recent years. A Somali gang moves into an area and they are willing to do things that other gangs won't do, and that causes a rise in violence, gang to gang to gang. Okay. That doesn't mean you don't invite any Somalis. It doesn't mean you don't have any asylum policy. But you're a damn fool if you're not going to think about that and find some way to address it.